Galvez, Joshua.
Group 2.
Come on.
Anyone? How about Adrian Galvez?
Adrian Galvez.
Sir, ka-group kami, sir.
Ay, magka-group kayo. Okay.
Ang Ryan Malajikad daw mo, sir, ni Nares.
Nasaan na siya?
Sir, section 2 ganito na, sir. Invite me lang, sir.
Sige, sige. Okay. IT18, CS18, CS18, Group 2. So, first group to present Aglubat Gabriel Galvez Galvez Adrian. And sino pa yung isa? Ay,
Amiel, sir.
Amiel
Amiel Bryce. Parabilia.
Marabilia. Okay, so let me remind you that for scoring your project, this will be our rubric. Okay, for the system output, modules and features of the system or the web pages, that is 20 points. System output, and then for the mobile application, that is 20 points. Functionality of the system, 30 points. The database, that is 10 points, and delivery, manner of speaking, comprehensiveness of the answer ideas, that is 20 points. So a total of 100 points. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if you are ready, you may present your project. Module 20 points. System out. Delivery. Nasa na si Maravilla? Maravilla. Okay, so we will be using this Excel to grade your system. Uh, Two panels, me and Sir Jeric. Again, for the modules, that is 20 points, system output 20 points, functionality 30 points, database is 10 points, and delivery, that is 20 points. So a total of 100 points.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, Sir Jerry. So we will now present our um, Vice. Are you there yet? Sir, may hintayin lang natin submit si Vice, sir. May technical difficulties daw.
Okay. Sino yung group? Aglubat, Galvez, Maravilla?
Yes, sir. Kaming apat, sir.
Okay. Hmm? Mga siguro 30 minutes per group. Ha? Oo. Okay, so nasan na kasi actually for the presentation of your project, you have 30 minutes to present your project. Ilan kayo sa group? Tatlo?
Pero apat kami, sir. Sama si
Ah.
Lupat, sir.
Tapos Nares?
Sir.
Okay.
So, so again, good morning to all. So first we will present our ERP.
Okay. Start na sila, line 30.
So here is our ERP. The site we are using is app.diagrams.net. Helps us create an ERP flawlessly. So here we have users and its attributes, full name, username, user ID as its primary key, password, contact number, and address. So many users are required to handle many products. So in our product entity, we have also the attributes price, status, product ID as its primary key, quantity, and product description. So ready products is optional to have a single category. So in the category, we have category as its primary key and category. So at the top, we have supplier. So many supplier is optional to supply many products. So in the supplier entity, we have the attributes, address, supplier name, and supplier ID as its primary key and contact number. So Andrian, can you talk about our database? We have some ready in your device. Oh, sorry. I mean, Bryce, can you open our database so that they can see using some? So, Bryce will explain our database.
Okay.
There you go.
So our database has 4 tables. The first table is category. Category consists of category ID and category products, which is there. Fruits, vegetables, canned goods, frozen foods, snacks. And the second table is table product. In table product, it consists of columns such as product ID, product description, price, quantity, status, supplier ID, and category ID. The third table is table supplier. In the table supplier, it consists of the supplier ID, supplier name, the address, and the contact number of the supplier. And the last table is the table user. In table user, it consists of user ID, the name, username, password, contact number, and address of the user.
So now we will demonstrate the app inside an Android system, and Andrian will explain shortly.
So here is our application. It, it is the welcome page of our application. When you click on the sidebar button, you can
The sidebar that shows Home, Search, Products, Supplier, Category, and Sign Out tab on the left.
So in the products tab, we have product description, quantity, unit price, status, supplier ID, and category ID. So while waiting for Andrian because he had a internet connection problem, we'll first go to the desktop version of our app, which I will present right now. So as the same as the mobile version, we have a welcome page for our inventory system, and when you click this open menu button, we have here the product supplier category. So in the product tab, like I said, we have product description, quantity, unit price, status, supplier ID, and category ID. So in my version, this is just what we use as a prototype because it doesn't have the official products yet. So You can type here product description. Let's
Okay,
say
fine.
we have a pencil. So quantity. Gabriel, can you
Yes.
give some quantity?
Well, yeah. Let's get some 5 packs of pencils.
Okay.
In each of them is like 90 pesos.
Mhm. So,
And let's say that our status that we have available.
okay. So supplier ID. Let's say we have 2 and 1. So we have here a button, add product.
Yep.
And there it
A
says
notification that says added.
yes. So that's updated. And we can also see here in our local host that in the product ID 12, we have pencil that is priced at 90 pesos and has a quantity of 5 and has a status of available. So now we will demonstrate here in the pencil. We can edit the product and Gabriel, can you update our product, our price?
Yes. We'll make a discount.
Okay,
We'll turn this into 65 pesos.
okay, it's good. And let's say the quantity is 0 and the status is unavailable. Now we will update the product and says here that it is now updated. We will now refresh and we can see here pencil is now thus have now a quantity of 0 and the price is 65 pesos. And we can also refresh here in our local host the same as the updated one. So now we can click again in the pencil and we can delete a certain product using this delete button, and now says deleted. You can see here in our database, refresh. Now that is our code for the web application. So Andrian, are you ready to present our mobile application for the inventory system?
Okay, this is the mobile application of our system. As you can see in the home page, if you click the uh, navigation bar, it will pop the menu bar. Just like in the website, if you click the product, you can see the product description, quantity, price, status, supplier ID, and category ID. Example, if you add a product, okay, and Mr. Andrian add a product. There is a notification that says added. As you can see, there's the product pilot added to our products. Also, you can edit the product. edit the quantity, anything you want. There's a notification says it's updated. So you can see in the bottom part, there's a updated version of our product. And you can also delete the product. Another thing is the supplier in our menu bar. You can add a supplier name, address, and contact number. And there's a notification says it's added. The supplier was added in the suppliers list. And you can also update and delete a supplier just like the product. We also have a category option. The category option is the kind of the products we are selling or the one that they are selling. It's like one papers, ball pens, pencils. And you can also update, and delete. And also in our navigation bar, we also have a search bar. But our search bar is in a working progress right now. Oh, it's already working.
And Andrea, can you click on the product and edit it at the same time, or just a search for a product and try to edit it? So it's just a search only function. Okay, that's good to know.
And in our navigation bar, there is a sign out. If you click sign out, probably it will be signing out. Sir, that's all. Thank you.
So that is all for our ERD database and for the desktop and mobile version of our application.
Ako lang naman recommendation, parang suggestions lang. Iwalay. Um, okay. Okay, so thank you for that presentation, students, my dear students. Anyway, for the this is just only a recommendation or suggestion. If in case that you will continue this in your capstone. Now for the system, the complete system should have an input, process, and output. Now and then as well as the storage or the database. So there is a transaction, there is a process, there is a database in your system, but you lack on output. What are those outputs? So for the outputs, let's say reports. Though you have though you have a list of products, and then also for the list of products, it should be printable. Okay, so that is one of the requirements of a system. Okay, printable, and then as well as for the management, yeah, for the management you have the product management, and then as well as uh, you should have a user management later on. This is just only a suggestion or recommendation. Okay, for the user management, you can add users, you can add admins, and then also you should know what are the level of access. Okay, like for example, if the admin can only add users, then the owner or the sellers should only manage the products, and then the staff can modify, or they can change the data or information of your product, and so on and the like. Okay, so those are very important in the system. Aside from that, security. So for the security, the username, password, and for the back end of your system, there should be a capability of filtering the for example, what do you call that, the session in page, kasi we do have a session. So for the session, if you are not authorized to view that web page or that feature of the system, then you cannot you cannot access that feature. So those are just only a suggestion or recommendation. And now for the database, um, it's a good thing that you presented the entity relationship diagram, which is um, basically for the software engineering and system analysis and design. Before you create a system, okay, you have to plan, and then you should have a blueprint. What are the blueprints of your system? First, for the database, yeah, you have the entity relationship diagram, and then the other diagrams that you can put in your document as the basis of your parang blueprint is the wait, database is the entity relationship diagram, and then the use case diagram will show the level of access of different users. I've already taught you on what are those, and then the other one is the for the system, you have the virtual table of contents, which presents the different features or web pages of your system. Okay, so that's all, and again, thank you for that presentation.
Sir. Thank you also, sir, for your recommendation, and we will take that into consideration, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Sir Jeric.
Yeah. That's a great presentation. And for our subject, I'll be emailing you yung question, and you should answer that one within this week. The same with the yung ipapasa ninyong ERD and the files or the database. Ipapasa nyo yung answer with the database and the ERD. Okay?
Yung kakapost mo lang na
Yeah.
activity sa Classroom, sir.
Doon yung ikawan. And sino yung leader ninyo? Saan ko siya i-email yung question?
Sir, sa akin na lang, sir.
Chat mo na lang dito para I can know.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, yun lang. And thank you guys. Sir Jobber.
Yun.
Okay, so congratulations. So next group.
Thank you,
Yun,
Sir
thank you,
Jerry.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the guidance.
Oh, next. Sinong next na magpe-present? Okay, so later on, we'll be grading your system. Later on yan. Next group. Sinong ready? Anyone?
Ay, sir, pwede ko na mag-out na, sir.
Yes, those who are done, you may...
Sakit kasi po. Thank you, sir.
Ay, abaga si Kwan pala. Ay, group 1 naman ito. Wait. Si... Group. So, Nares... Maravilla... Aglobat and... Galvez Adrian. Done. Nares, Aglobat, Galvez, next, anyone from the class who will volunteer? Wala na. How about, by the way, class, this is a good presentation. All of the students talk. Like for example, Mr. Nares for the introduction, Maravilla for the database, Adrian and Aglobat for the system. Next. Aguilar. Wala. Flores, Moses.
Sir, present sir.
Aguilar. Oh. Your project.
Sir, kwan pa sir, inaayos pa namin sir.
So not yet done. How about Flores? Moses? Flores? Wala. Gallegos, Benji.
Sir, present.
How about your system?
Sir, di pa ready yung mobile.
Oh, Galvez Jalen. Go Christian. Hidalgo. Romero.
Sir, bukas po kami sa time ng class niyo kanina Marlon.
Okay. Limpayos.
Sir, patapos pa lang yung mobile, sir.
Manalon. Wala. Mercado.
Sir, nice pa namin yung mobile, sir.
Noveloso. Orpilia.
Sir, nasa kabilang classroom yung mga kagroup ko, sir.
Abang group. Ewan ko. Pimentel.
Sir, magpe-present po nga.
Okay. So, you may present now. So, Mr. Pimentel.
Sir, wait lang po.
Sige. Sinong ka-group?
Sir, ano po, Maniques, Manalon.
Sila lang?
Sir, tas meron kaming isang kagrupo kaso ano lang, yung subject niya lang na meron is yung...
Database?
Opo. Si, ano na yun? Si Hidalgo.
Hidalgo? Hidalgo?
Opo, Hidalgo. Hindi po si, sir, ibang Hidalgo yung Julius Ivan po.
Sige. So, Maniques. Sige. Okay,
So, good morning.
You may start now.
So, good morning, classmates. Good morning, teachers. We will now present to you our mobile inventory system. So, wait lang. First, we will now present to you our database. So, wait lang. So, this is our database. Ms. Maniques, kindly explain our database.
So, our database is titled as Redcart and it contains...
Hindi.
Saan dito?
Ito. Ito. Yung sinend ko sa'yo. Ako na lang.
Sige.
So, our database name is PhoneGap Demo. So, as you can, you are all familiar with the name kasi ginamit namin yung ginawa namin, yung kay Sir, yung database ni Sir na binigay niya, ginamit namin. So, our table name is course details. And this is the column names. ID, title, duration, and price. So, for the title, the name of the product, duration. So, sa duration po, iniba rin namin dito. Supposedly, dapat yung duration po is, wait lang. Supposedly, ang duration po is category and the price still remain, price pa rin po siya. So, we will now proceed to our mobile inventory system. So as you can see on your screen, there are two buttons, product list and insert products. So if we click the insert products, we will proceed. We will go to the insert product screen. So if I insert a product, for example, product name example is kunwari Coke mismo. For the category beverages. For the price is, for example, 15 pesos. So I will insert. So it says inserted. As you can see, nandun na po yung yung in-insert natin. So pag click natin po, isang pupunta tayo sa update and delete screen. So for example, nagkamali ako sa price and gusto ko siya ibahin. So I will click it and ibahin ko siya, for example, 20 pesos pala siya. So I will update. So yun, na-update na natin yung Coke mismo for 20 pesos. So for example, itong itong nakalagay dito na sample, hindi naman to kasali. Na doble lang siya. So, gusto ko siya delete. So, I will just click the delete button and it says deleted. So, okay. So, punta naman tayo sa home. So, sa product list button naman po, it will directly go to the product list. Yung kanina rin. So, that's it, sir, for our mobile inventory system. Sir, present pa ba yung web? Sir?
Yes, you will present also your web.
Sir, yung sa may integ, yung sa may subject na sa integ, ano ba? Oh, pati yun. Wait lang, sir. Sir, wait lang. So, Ira, kindly explain our database for our web. I will present lang, wait lang po. Yan, Ira, kindly present. Ay, ito na, nakapresent na ako.
Our database is entitled as Redcart and it contains 4 tables such as products, store, supplier, and user. In products, there are product ID, product name, description name, category, unit, supplier price, store price, product quantity, supplier, and expiration date. In table store name, address, contact number, store owner, and store manager. Table supplier contains name, address, contact person, and contact number. And lastly, the table user contains user ID, username, and password.
So, wait lang po. Wait lang po. Bakit ba yung present ko? Yan, kita niyo na po. So, this is our web inventory system. So, as you can see, this is the login screen. So, for example, wala po kayong account sa sa inventory system na to. So, magre-register po kayo. So, madali lang po mag-register dito sa amin. It is just your username and your password. For example, yung username ko is sample 123. So, ang password ko is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So, register. So, for example, maglalagin ako sample 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. So, login. So, yan. So, makikita nyo na po yung we will directly see the products po. So, for example, gusto ko mag-input ng product. Sali ko dito. So, this is the enter new product screen. So, for example, new name of product. Name of product. Name of product is ano kaya? C2. Example, C2. Description name, C2 solo. C2 solo. Category is beverages. Unit is per bottle. Supplier price is, for example, 12 pesos. Store price is 15 pesos. Product quantity, kung ilan yun, kunyari 100 yung na-order niya. Supplier is, for example, CSI. Expiration date, for example, is January 12, 2024. Submit. So, nakita nyo na po, ay, nadoble na. Pero, for example, ito po, nadagdag na po siya, na-insert na po siya. So, for example, nagkamali ka sa price ulit. Imbis na 12 pesos, imbis na 15 pesos, dapat 20 pesos pala siya. So, edit natin. Yan. So, yung 15 pesos, pwede natin siya palitan. For example din, yung supplier price pala is 15. So, sasubmit na natin. So, yun, naiba na po. So, for example, yun nga yung, kunyari, case mo na dadoble po yung lagay mo ng product. Imbis na isa lang. So, pwede mo natin siya directly delete dito. Yan. So, deleted na po. For example din, try ulit natin yung edit. For example, sa Coke, edit natin. Imbis na 70, gawin natin 100. Tapos imbis na per bottle, gawin natin siyang per box. Submit. So yun, naiba na po siya. So dito naman po sa logout button, pag pinindot nyo, meaning, malalagout kayo. So for example, lalagout. So yan. So ilagin ulit natin. Sample 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yun lang po sa aming web, sir. Sir.
Okay, so that all? Yun na yun?
Opo.
Okay. So, thank you for that presentation. Okay. For the members, Mr. Pimentel, Ms. Maniquez, Mr. Manalon. Okay, so my recommendation about the system again. During your capstone, do not put some data or information na hindi real, hindi totoo. For example, yung sample na data. Okay, yung sample na word, yung for example product name, sample, and then yung ibang details na description, for example sample. So during the capstone, yung mga dapat yung mga real world entity or term ang gagamitin, and then a minimum of 10 records per feature. So dapat meron siyang 10 records. Okay, and then for the security, because this is inventory, the registration should not be in the homepage. Dapat hindi siya sa homepage kasi pwede kasing gumawa ng account kahit na sino. For the security, so dapat only the admin can create an account. Yun. And then next nga pala for the delete kasi, during your capstone, do not use delete method. Though kailangan nating matutunan din kung ano yung delete method, but in real world system dapat wala siyang delete. Bakit? Because of data anomaly. For example, if you have a report and then after a year you delete the entity. Pag dinelete mo kasi yung entity or record, then magugulo na yung report later on. So what is the solution for that? One of the solution is data archiving or information archiving. So ibig sabihin nun, rather than deleting the information, why not put that in the other table or you include some columns for the status. Okay, so for example, temporary delete or pwedeng ganun kasi. So, yun lang, suggestion lang, in real world scenario, and if in case that after you graduate is mapunta ka sa programming industry and then you will create a system, bawal yung delete. So, dapat lang siya, data archiving lang siya para maiwasan yung data anomaly. And then again, for the system, kailangan meron siyang reports, printable reports, and then what else? Security, meron din. Okay, so
Ito po, sir.
okay. Sir Jeric, anything to say about the presentation?
Okay. Sige. Do you have yung ERD pala? Your diagram?
Yes po.
Sige. Hindi ko naman na siya. Basta may pasa na siya sa Google Classroom. Doon ko na lang i-check. And for the database, ginamit nyo yung dalawang database? Dalawang database ang ginamit nyo? I mean.
Sir, yes.
Yeah. So for yun nga, for the future, kunyari sa Capstone, ayaw nila yung gumagamit ng separate. Mostly, for example, you have mobile and your web, a single database lang dapat siya para yung data is parehas with the mobile, parehas siya sa web. So yun lang. And yung following question natin is I will email it to sino pwede kong email for the questions.
Sir, ako na lang po.
Sige, pa-chat na lang on our chat box. And thank you guys. Maganda yung presentation. Sir Jopper.
Okay, so thank you for that presentation. Next group. Any volunteer? O pwede pang isa. Sayang yung oras. So Mr. Pimentel, Maniquez, and Manalon. Okay, so anyone? Rimorin? Banderil?
Sir, CS group, sir. Ready kami matan, sir.
Sige. Last group to present today, CS. Okay, sige. Sinong ka-group muna? Sino yung mga ka-group?
Sir, ni Inatangalin, sir, ni Rainer, ni Shanken, ni Shaq, sir.
Wait lang. Banderil.
Sir, ni Imna.
Sino pa si?
Imna, sir. Sir, si...
Inan?
Sir, hindi. Tangalin, si Francois, sir.
Si Tangalin and?
Rainer at saka Shan, sir.
Rainier and Shan. Custodio and Shan Milio.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you may present now.
I'm here as well.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, panel. Good morning, classmates. We are here to present our project today about Thrifling, a project centered on OK Clothing. So our project consists of an ordering system, a point of sale system, and a mobile application counterpart of the ordering system. So to start with, we will first present our ERD. Jojo, please.
So, good morning, sir. Today we are presenting our ERD, which is very simple. So, our main entity was the product, and it has a four attribute, which are the product ID. It contains the the four attribute, which is product ID, product code, product size, and the product price. So the the product entity, it shows that zero or more for the action, or which is what they call the relationship. Um, those action or relationship are the supply, purchase, and the sale. So um, so those three action are I so those three um, it links, let's say it links to zero or more, or what they call zero to many, or zero or many, let's say optional, sir. So let's start with the supply. Isa-isahin ko na lang, sir, para mas madali. So the supply has a option, optional, or what they call zero or more, which is the entity of supplier. So the supplier contains three attributes, which is the supplier ID, supplier name, and the supplier phone number. So the supplier, uh, the entity of supplier, it's the same. So it it links, it links to zero or more from the supply to the product. So let's start from the second, which is the purchase. Tama ba? Purchase. So the purchase is the same, zero or more. Then from the purchase, to the seller, it's a one, um, so it one two entity. So um, so the seller, the entity of seller, it contains five attribute, which is the seller ID, seller name, seller phone number, seller email, and the seller password. So the seller, it contains only one, uh, one let's say one link to the action, or with the, which is to the relationship with the purchase. So the third one is the sale. Sale, tama ba? Oh, yes, sale. So the action of, so the product, um, it's the same, it's zero or more, or what they call the optional. So um, the the product, it links down to the sale. So uh, the sale has a two attribute, which are the mode of deliver and the mode of payment. So ito yung parang payment method. So from the sale, or the relationship of sale to product, then the sale, it's the same, it's optional from the customer. So the entity of customer contains seven attribute, which are the customer ID, customer name, the address, phone number, customer email, and the customer password. So the entity of customer, uh, it's the same, it's optional from the sale to product. That's all.
Thank you, Jojo. So let's now proceed to the database to be presented by Rainer. Go ahead, Rainer.
As you can see, the database is called project, and the project is consists of 5 tables called customer, product, sales, seller, and supplier. First, the table customer consists of customer ID, customer email, the customer password, customer name, customer phone, address, and registration date. Now, the customer password is, for example, the customer is entered password 12345. Now that password will be um, changed into this form, as you can see, so that it cannot easily be opened by anyone or known by anyone. Next is the product. This is our product: boots, floral sandals, white sneakers, silver necklace, black cap, yellow scarf, leather bracelet, red blouse, blue t-shirt, green skirt. And the following are the details that are included in this table: item code, item price, item size, mode of delivery, and mode of payment. As for the sales, in the sales, this is the past ordered by our customers. As you can see, there are already 10 customers that ordered those products, and those are included the payment and the quantity of the product that they are purchased. As for sellers, as you can see, just like the customer, the sellers also have their own email and phone number and password. For the supplier, these are the suppliers. There. And now we're going to proceed on the web page, on our web page. This is our web page. First, we're going to log in. If you don't have any account that is registered, you can sign up. You can sign up and register in here. But as you can see, there are already customers on our database that already been registered. We're now going to enter one of them. First is Ogata, and his password will be now. As you can see, Ogata is already in the session. Now this session will check if Ogata is signed in on our web page or not, because it is included in our code. Now we're going to go to the shop now, which will be reported by Imna.
So hello, as you can see, we're here in our shop now segment. There are, in the navigation bar, there are 3 kinds of products you can purchase: accessories, shoes, clothes. So as for the present page, we're in the clothes section. So in here, we're gonna first fill up the customer's full name. For example, test name ay Ugata na lang. Then mode of payment will be online payment, cash on hand, or whatever. Then the quantity, I want 1 of everything. So, bali, 1 red blouse, 1 blue, 1 green skirt. So, then submit. After submitting the products that you wanted, you will be directed in the bill page. So, after that, the same thing happens dun sa accessories and shoes. So if I want to order any of the accessories or shoes, I can just do whatever I did sa clothes section.
Now that Ogata has already purchased a item, that item will be saved on our database on on our database called sales. Now we're going to log out and go to the admin page. Now that the admin is already been registered, is called lourdes@gmail.com, and her password. There. Now Lourdes can have an access or can see the database on point of sales display. In here, she can edit any of the item that was included on the sales. For example, we're going to change the customer name. Let's say Ken. And update it. Now you can see that Ogata Quinton have changed his name into Ogata Ken. Right there. And we're going back and log out. And now we're going to the mobile portion of our project.
Thank you, Rainer and Himna. So let me present to you our mobile application. So this is our mobile application. It is only focused on the admin mode, and where the admin can add or edit items for in the database. So let's start with the read. So as you can see, these are the items with the item code and the price. So let's go back to the home page and let's try to insert a new item. So say for example, this is our item code and our product is tracksuit and for men, and it cost, and there. After that, the newly inserted item will be displayed on the read database. So here we can edit or update these items or delete. So say for example, we're going to edit this item. So we'll change this. We'll change the price to 200. And there you can see the slim fit shirt for women is changed. And let's try to remove one item. And that's it. That's for our mobile applications. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you po. Thank you, sir. Thank you, classmates.
Okay, so thank you for that presentation. Okay, so very good. Again, Banderil for the database entity relationship diagram presentation. Sean for the introduction and the mobile application. Rainier for the database and system, and Tangalin for the system. So yun, maganda yung group combination and the discussion. Yun yung magandang presentation, and even yung iba. So ganun, dapat tulungan kayo. And then again, in your capstone, there is a question and answer, and if in case that one of you knows the answer, then you should answer the question of your panel. For the presentation, maganda siya. One of my comment about the system is that for the registration, kasi in your login page, you have the admin and then you have the user. If you will notice, yung mga bagong system ngayon nowadays, the new systems, the system will detect if that is an admin account or an staff account or yung user account. Okay, so it should have in your code that can detect if the one who is logging in is an admin or staff or um, employee maybe, and so on. So yun. And then for the level of access, very good. It has a different level of access, yung different users and so on. And then yun, in addition, reports. So you should have a reports because all of the system should have a reports, yung mga printable reports. And then always check the data anomaly kasi later on, like I said, if in case that you will pursue in programming and you will soon in a programming industry, you should check the data anomaly. Okay, so for example, if you change the data of a certain product, would it affect the other transaction? So you have to check that. Mostly, that is the job of a system analyst. Kasi iba-iba kasi yung position of the in a programming industry. There's a system analyst, there's a database administrator, uh, network administrator, and so on and the like. Okay? Data anomaly. So always check the data anomaly kasi there are some instances that some of the clients are complaining because of the data anomaly. So for example, if you change for the product changes every now and then the price, right? Nagbabago yung price niya every now and then. So if in case that you will change the product now, what would happen to the reports on your previous transactions? Diba? For example, last year the price is 10 pesos. Nowadays, the price is 15 pesos. If you will change the product price, then it will affect also if in case that your system has a parang issue on that. If you change the price, then the previous transaction or the reports also affected. Pag nag-change ka nga ng price, then yung mga previous nag-change na rin ng price. So if you will check the data integrity, okay, if you will check the data integrity, then you will be having a problem for that. Yun din yung isa. And then for the maganda for the one of the security, ayun, encoded password. Ano yung ginamit nyo for your password in your database? MD5 hash. Yun hash. Yun, maganda yun kasi even if there are some parang hacker that could access your database, at least they have some difficulties on how they would decode the password. Although in the internet kasi you can decode yung password na yun. Anyway, yun, for the security, very good. Real world entity, yun din. For the delete, dapat wala na siyang delete. They call it archiving, para if in case there will be no issue about the data integrity. Kasi for example, if you delete the product, and then how about the previous transaction, so madi-delete na rin yung product na yun, or yung information or yung record. So yan. And then so yun lang yung nakita ko. Nice presentation and nice system.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir Jeric, anything to say?
Yeah. Maganda yung system, and for the database lang, maganda rin. My suggestion lang dyan for that one is, for example, on a certain table, I think sa sales yun, and you are getting already information about dun sa isang table, you can use yung foreign key na natin. So if you go to your sales, I think sales ID, tapos customer name, Yan. So instead of getting yung customer name, you can already get yung primary key ng customer table. So para makuha niya lahat ng details about that customer name na yan. Bakit natin ginagawa yung foreign key? One thing na ginagamit natin yan is to lessen yung error. Kasi for example, you type the wrong information, customer name, mali yung na-type mo. So hindi siya magma-match dun sa customer table natin na yung una mong dinagay. Ayun lang, if your table is composed of data consisting of other tables na, yung information about other tables, you can use yung foreign key na natin to link and to lessen yung error natin. Okay, so yun lang. And kanina ko isi-send yung ating question natin.
Sir, sa akin na lang po.
Okay. You can chat na lang your email, then I'll be sending it on your email to be answered by group pa rin yan. So thank you guys.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the presentation.
Okay, so again, thank you. Okay, so group 1, Aglubat, Galvez, Maravilla, Nares, Dan, and then the other group, 2, Pimentel, Maniquez, Manalon, Hidalgo, and the third, si Banderil, Tangalin, and Custodio. Okay, so I think kulang na yung oras natin. So next meeting we will continue the presentation of your projects, yung ibang hindi pa tapos. Okay, so any question, any clarification, class, before we end?